when I came here, I was literally a fish out of water. I found myself going, where do I go? What's an audition? Where do I go and audition? So it was a little bit of a struggle. And I like couch hopped for like 3 months. Yeah.
And what was your first big break in New York?
My first New York big break?
Yeah.
Camelot at Lincoln Center with the New York Philharmonic.
Oh, nice. That's
Yeah.
a nice way to start, right?
Yeah, it was really cool.
Birds and bees with all of their vast, amorous past, gaze at the human race aghast.
We did a PBS special, and I was so green and so excited, but it was awesome.
Things. But let's talk about West Side Story, and you did a chorus line as well on tour. What was that like?
A chorus line was everything I thought it would be. It was hard work.
Yeah.
It was the last leg of the first national. I came back and I was like, okay, I'm just going to sit down in New York just for a little bit, and then like immediately I booked West Side Story. But all along I feel like I had been secreting that because I knew I wanted to do West Side Story, and I took that job. That was fun. I toured with that for like 2 years. It was that was even more hard work. Joey McNeely his choreography was no joke. It's tough, but definitely a milestone in my career, I feel. And then I was back on the road dancing Jerome Robbins. It's incredible. Like the choreography is probably my favorite part of the show. Mm-hmm. And being able to dance at the gym, so much fun.
So where'd you get your dance training? I mean, I know you have to be, these days, a triple threat, so what do you have to say about that?
I have to be honest. I started really late. So, I grew up as a kid doing regional theater, a couple of little tours, but it was never like formal dance training. Like I was never put in a ballet class. My twin sister, I'm a twin.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she was the one who was in like dance class, so I grew up going to her recitals. So then when I went to a performing arts high school, I didn't really start like a formal dance class until I was 17.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, late.
And you have to be good because pulling off a show like Chicago is very dance-oriented,
Yeah.
and West Side Story, of course, one of the most challenging. But I have to say, let's go back to Chicago. So many of my friends are in that. I want to say hi to Brian O'Brien, Brian Spatolnik, Peter Nelson. We love you all. It's such a great show. Please go see it if you haven't, because this cast is always the sexiest men on Broadway, and it's always a good time to go to that show, right?
It is a good time. There's a lot of pelvic thrusts and hip isolations.
Yes. Okay, another thing that you had on your resume is dialect. So what is your favorite dialect to do?
I like to do the Spanish accent, particularly Mexicano, man. I like to talk like this, like I'm from Mexicano.
Order a tequila.
Tequila.
Ha! Love that. Another interesting skill that you had on your resume, which I found particularly interesting, and I didn't know it was a Broadway skill, is dodgeball. Why is dodgeball a Broadway skill?
No answer. I got nothing. I'm really into gardening.
Okay. So that's why he asked me if I fertilize my plants, because my plants are all dying upstairs, right?
They are well, they're not dead yet. They still have some life in them. I do like to garden.
Where do you garden? In Manhattan? Do you garden other people's gardens? Where do you live?
I live in Astoria, Queens, and I live in a townhome that has a garden out front. Okay, but here's the thing. I can't even believe I'm about to admit this. The garden out front is for my landlords who live below us, but they don't know that every spring.
They think it's a magic garden. They think it's just your garden. No.
Every spring I plant I sprinkle wildflower seeds in their garden, and then I just kind of secretly watch them grow.
That's pretty amazing. So Michael, one of the reasons I chose you to be a Broadway hero, as all of our Broadway heroes, is the amount of work you do for charity, which is so overwhelming. Tell me why that's so important to you. You've done the Easter Bonnet, you've done Broadway Backwards, you've done Broadway Cares, you've done Broadway Bears. Why do you do these things?
I do these things because I believe in the cause. I've got a lot of people in my life who are very important to me, who are living with HIV and AIDS, and it's the best way that I can give to them. I believe in the organizations, and I believe that they do good things. And it's not much that I can give, but for me, like, it's because I mean, if I had like $1 million to donate, I would gift, and I try to help as much as I can to show that I care, because I do. I do care.
That's great. We're partnered with all the major charities, including Broadway Cares, the Actors Fund, Colin Lord, Housing Works, you name it. We support all of you, and please go to our website and find out information about all these organizations and make a big donation. So, Michael, what is quirky about you? I'm sure there's a long list because I've seen your Facebook pictures, but what is quirky about you?
Oh, gosh. Outwardly, I would say I'm not afraid of a good pattern. I mean, look at my shoes. I don't know if you could see my shoes.
Can you lift that above your head?
Yeah.
All right. And what kind of movies do you watch?
I like to skateboard.
That has nothing to do with the question I asked you, but we'll get to that. Check. But let's just talk for 1 second about the Bruce Jenner interview. You saw it. I think this is such an amazing thing, and I want to point this out, that this is a very brave thing that Bruce Jenner has done. This is kind of the year of the transgender, and it's so nice to see that people are finally appreciating these people and giving them the credit for what they've gone through and accepting them more than ever. Don't you agree?
I agree. It was a very special and touching interview, and I'm proud of him.
Yeah.
I don't know him, but I'm proud of him. And I think it's a very brave thing. He is a brave soul at 65 years old to want to go to this transformation and be himself. And I think he handled it the best way he could. I really do. What I loved most about the interview was how he said, you know, I could have easily done what a lot of people do. I could have gone into the bedroom, got a gun, and, you know, and ended it. But I thought to myself, I want to see how this story ends. And that, to me, was so powerful and spoke volumes, especially to the younger generations who don't have a role model like that to look up to. And so it's just a huge thing for our community, too.
Yeah. I think it's very lovely for you to say, and I want to reach out to all the people that are transgender. Please contact me. We'd love to support you in any way we can, and we'll be putting up more information to help you on HERONEWS.org and HIVhero.org. So, Michael, do you have any message, especially to young people, about the importance of safe sex practices? With all this information out there about PrEP, it's very confusing. So what do you have to say about just being safe all the time?
It's really important to be safe because your body is your temple, and it's a very special thing. And when you're young, I think maybe you could possibly think that you're invincible, and that current issues or things, you know, might not be real, but they are. And when you get a little older, you start to realize that. So for the young ones out there, make sure that you are smart enough to take care of your body and yourself, your health, because it's the one thing you really have that stays with you for the rest of your time that you're here.
I think that's great. And please remember that we love you if you're HIV positive, and you are always loved. And if you are newly diagnosed, you can go to HIVhero.org and HERONEWS.org. We have a wealth of information for you. And please feel free to call me, and I will do my best to help you. Okay, so Michael, tell me the weirdest thing that's ever happened to you in New York.
I gotta think about this one.
I'll tell you mine while you're thinking.
Okay.
So I was watching a person's dog and sitting down in the front of a supermarket with my coffee, and someone put $1 in it. They thought I was a begging person with my dog. Okay, you go.
Okay, wait. Okay, so it came to me. Okay, so I lived in Tokyo for a year, as I mentioned, So I was lying in bed one afternoon, and I was getting ready to leave the house, but I was going to give myself a little 15-minute nap. And I started thinking of this girl that I used to work with who lived in Japan. She was a Japanese girl. And I thought, oh, I'm going to be nice to see her. I feel like I'm going to see her. Get on the train, have my headphones on. I'm on the train for like a good 20 minutes. I'm just, my head is down. I'm just looking at my phone, listening to music. And all of a sudden I look up, and there she is, sitting directly across from me. Happened to be visiting New York.
You're kidding?
And
wow.
we locked eyes, and then we were like, oh my gosh. And she barely speaks English, but I gave her a big hug right there in the sun, on the train car. But
Well, let's hear the Japanese dialect. What did you say to her?
I don't speak Japanese, but I do.
Oh, you spent a year there. You can do the dialect. Let's hear it.
But would you like to hear my old lines?
Yes.
王将様方、素敵な声をしたいならピロの店先へないねんてる。僕たちとロマンスの名人となるとどこにお任せを。
So, Michael, you made it on Broadway, very successful career, young guy. What advice do you have for young people that want to do what you're doing and make it on Broadway?
I would say that go to class, especially if you want to do musical theater. Go to dance class and get used to picking up choreography really fast, and make sure you're acting through your dance. But the most important thing that no one told me, and I figured out for myself, and so the best kind of wisdom I can impart is to recognize that everybody in this business has their own journey. Some kids move here right and get a Broadway show right out of college, and some people have to work a little bit harder, like myself. Mm-hmm. And that's okay. It's okay. It's there's no race. It's a getting there. It's not a matter of if. It's a matter of when. And if you believe in yourself, then don't get caught up in what everybody else is doing and what other things they've booked. Make sure you're just doing what you need to be doing. And be genuinely happy for others. And then in return, it will all start happening for you.
So, Michael, our slogan is condoms are hot. Do you think condoms are hot?
Condoms are hot, and they're also tight.
All right, so you know what? Practice makes perfect. Have a good time with your partner putting them on. Practice on a banana. Just do creative things. So, Michael, I want to thank you so much for being our Broadway Hero of the Month. You're a very handsome, talented, and very funny guy. Go and see him in Chicago. The cast is unbelievable. Lots of our friends are in it. They're all sexy, almost shirtless, and wearing next to nothing, which is always great. But the show, music, stands on itself. So where can we see that?
At the Ambassador Theater on 49th Street.
Okay, so go see him, and thank you so much for being our Broadway Hero.
Thank you for having me. It's been a lot of fun. I really appreciate it.